I'm excited for our team this week on this show for Retiring Well. They've put so much time and effort into this, giving you all this information right here, right now. First, starting off the show, John and I are going to be talking about risk, but a little bit different twist on it, coming from lack of knowledge. Again, a lot of times you hear risk talking about the investment world and different investments. We're going to be talking about having risk because just you don't know what you don't know. Then Ashley's going to jump on the show and talk about the power of compound interest over time. Such a simple concept, but what that looks like magnified over time. Ray's going to join us and talking about why does your money feel scattered and stressful? That's a feeling we don't like to have, and I'm sure nobody does, but what is that and how could maybe you avoid that going forward? Then Jack is going to come on with a fun little segment and talk about who is Harry Markowitz, what he is, and should you know him, and maybe also some information about that. And to wrap up the show this week, Nick is going to be talking about Social Security benefits and specifically those benefits starting at 62, those early withdrawal benefits. Again, so many people, the age-old question, when should I start my benefits? This is that take of starting benefits early. All this and much more information coming at you right here, right now on Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well. Plan to retire well.
Well, here we are again, Art, talking about risk. And risk comes from basically not knowing what you're doing. A lot of times people in financial planning, they always talk about, well, market, that's the only type of risk. But we're going to walk you through here some different types of risk that you want to be taking into consideration. And we feel that knowledge is so important to educate yourself and to prepare yourself when it comes to your financial planning, retirement planning, all of those different areas.
Oh, John, so true. I think it's great we're talking about risk because, you know, when the market tends to trend upwards for a longer period of time, people forget about risk. And it's getting a little bit deeper than just stocks and bonds and diversification. Is about, again, knowledge is power and things like that. I think of personally for myself, just coming off of a big home renovation project and doing some remodeling work, I'm thinking about electrical work specifically and about what can go wrong when you don't know what you're doing. And I could get into some examples maybe of some things of trying to do some electrical work myself, and I shouldn't have been doing that. And therefore calling out to professionals to finish that task so I don't, can still be here to participate in this show. But again, think of it that, folks, for you out there that maybe there's something you're not a professional with or you don't have experience with that, what are some of those risks can have? Because you just don't know what you don't know in many cases from that perspective.
Yeah, we're glad that you're still here, Art. And so some of those risks might be, I mean, number one is outliving your money. I mean, that's one of those number one fears out there for people. Along with that, you have to consider inflation. As we've seen over the recent years, okay, costs are going up, and how do you prepare for that? What about the rising healthcare costs? How do you best prepare and set money aside, but also do your due diligence and try and see, are there different plans out there that would be better suited for you? What about emotional decisions? As we've talked about on the show before, there's a lot of times people take into consideration how they're feeling about something at that period of time and make big emotional decisions on their finances, which don't go hand in hand very well. And then again, it just goes beyond your typical stock market volatility as a risk.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think, John, that emotional piece is something to continue to discuss, is because, you know, thinking about panic, you know, fear, making decisions based on that, again, that emotional perspective. When you're uneducated and you don't know, you're much more likely to react based on fear, or not even just on the downside, the fear of missing out, that FOMO method, where maybe something's happening or you're hearing your neighbors or your friends talking about, oh, I did this or I did that, or my account made this, or I lost some amount. And so you start making these decisions, again, not knowing the whole story, or again, every individual is different out there and making financial decisions based on something that a friend or neighbor is saying could be vitally dangerous to your perspective as well. You know, and also thinking of this, you know, we've been doing this show now for 15 years years here talking about retiring well and trying to educate individuals from that perspective. Again, we're trying to come forward and give people knowledge is power, right? When you learn something and you give it away and you teach people how to do this, again, you're able to make more informed decisions. But even from what we can talk about, there's so many individual details that are vital to your specific plan that we can't get into on a half-hour show for your specific situation. And again, that's why all of our offices are located here, and we're only a phone call away from many of you out there.
Yeah, and retirement doesn't need to be considered risky because it's uncertain. It's risky when people ultimately don't educate and prepare themselves. And that's where, again, having a financial advisor be able to walk alongside you that's been through this process with hundreds of other individuals and couples can help you along that way. That's something here at Centennial Wealth Advisory. We've built a team where we can help with the financial planning aspect, but also that goes hand in hand with that is tax planning. You have to have your taxes working as best as possible for you to keep as much money in your pocket, your family's pocket. Alongside that, you've got to bring in different estate planning attorneys to help in different areas. You've got health insurance as a key factor now that goes hand in hand within your retirement plan. So that's something that we've tried to build here as our team continues to grow.
Absolutely. You know, one of the most rewarding things about what we do as financial planners is helping people plan to retire well. When we get to see that joy and excitement on their face, that we can see that stress and worry go away, and they believe and understand their plan they have laid out for them, so they can go out and do those things that they've dreamed all their life that they can do and live that retirement to its fullest, whether that's traveling, friends, family, grandkids, whatever that may be, and having that knowledge to do so. So we love the opportunity to continue to educate you and talk further about your specific retirement plan.
Centennial Wealth Advisory is expanding, and we are excited to add a new office in Manistee to better serve our growing family of clients. Our new office is located in the historic Briney Building in the center of idyllic downtown Manistee. Whether you are an existing client or would like to meet for the first time for your free, no-obligation initial consultation, we look forward to welcoming you in our new office or at any of our Northern Michigan locations in Traverse City, Gaylord, Petoskey, Cadillac, or Manistee.
Remember when life was simpler? When things didn't move quite so fast and the world didn't seem so complex? Remember that? We do. And as the world around us has continued to speed up, becoming more complicated and still a bit uncertain, we have managed to keep things simple, providing sound, easy-to-understand financial advice and customized roadmaps for the road ahead, from tax reduction strategies, investment advice, and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, backed by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. We can be your single point of contact, a single call, a voice you recognize well, and a partner who can be by your side for the entire journey. We can't stop the world around us, but we can help ensure you're prepared for what's to come. To schedule a no-obligation meeting, simply contact us today.
Compound interest has often been called the eighth wonder of the world. And I believe this quote came from the late Albert Einstein himself. So whether that quote is accurate or not, the idea behind it absolutely is. Because compound interest isn't about getting rich quick. It's about letting time do the heavy lifting for you. And yet, it's one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of personal finance. So today, let's break down simply, clearly, and in a way that actually makes sense. So compound interest means this: you don't just earn interest on your money, you earn interest on your interest. And early on, that doesn't sound exciting or feel exciting because in fact, even in the beginning, growth can be painfully slow. But over time, something powerful happens. Growth starts to stack, momentum builds, and eventually the curve changes. So not because you worked harder, it's just because over time, as Warren Buffett says, my life has been a product of compound interest. Nothing more, nothing less, and nothing brilliant. So think about it this way. With a simple interest, your money grows in a straight line. It's predictable, flat, and limited. With compound interest, your money grows more like a curve. Slow at first, then faster, then dramatic. And most people give up right before the curve really begins. One of the biggest misunderstandings about investing is this. People think success comes from making money, picking a perfect investment, or timing the market. But more often than not, success comes from starting earlier. Someone who starts small but gives their money time to compound can end up far ahead of someone who starts later, even if that second person invests more. So time doesn't just help, it multiplies. Compound interest works like a snowball rolling down a hill. So at the top of the hill, it's small, it moves slowly, and you barely notice it. But as it keeps rolling, it picks up more snow, more mass, more momentum, and eventually that snowball is doing most of the work, not the push that started it. So that's compound interest, and the biggest mistake people make is stopping that snowball too soon. So here's something important to remember. Compound interest rewards consistency, not perfection. You don't need to have perfect timing. You don't need predictions. You don't need dramatic moves or anything like that. What you do need is steady contributions. You need patience, a long-term mindset. Small actions done consistently over a long period of time can create results that feel most unbelievable. But only if you let time finish that job. So compound interest is powerful, but it is very fragile. Things like pulling money out too early, jumping in and out of the market, letting fear drive those decisions can interrupt that compounding process. And every time the process is interrupted, that momentum is lost. And momentum is where that real power really lives. So one of the most comforting things about compound interest is that it doesn't react to noise. It doesn't care about headlines. It doesn't care about predictions. It doesn't care about short-term volatility. It rewards discipline, patience, and it rewards staying invested. So that's why having a plan really matters, because a plan helps you stay long enough to benefit from that compounding. So if you enjoy explanations like this, we cover retirement planning topics every week on our Retiring Well YouTube channel. We have clear, practical, and built for you real-life information. Like and subscribe to receive weekly updates on these new videos. And if you'd like to see how compound interest fits in your personal situation, visit cen-wealth.com to schedule a free consultation with a licensed professional. We proudly serve families across northern Michigan with multiple locations where you can sit down, ask questions, and build a plan designed to help you retire well. So compound interest isn't flashy, it isn't exciting in the beginning, but given enough time, it can completely change outcomes. The real question isn't, does compound interest work for me? It's whether or not you give it enough time to.
When you have confidence in your retirement future, you can live the life you've always imagined. Because of planning, you now have time to reflect on the wonderful memories of your life. You and your spouse finally have the luxury of leisure time together. To spend fun times with your grandkids, sharing the joy of their excitement about life. Smiling at the thought of quality time with your children and of picking up the check. At last, you have time to breathe and rekindle the love of your life. Why? because you imagined what could be. You planned for retirement. So today, you own your future.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Ever feel like you're doing all the right things with your money, but it just still feels messy? Maybe you have money at one bank, savings somewhere else, a couple of credit cards, and retirement accounts from former jobs. And then every account comes with decisions. So which card should I use? Which account does this bill come out of? Did I already transfer that money? How much do I even have saved for retirement? There's different banks, there's different logins, different apps. Just keeping track of it all feels exhausting. And when it feels exhausting, you'll want to stop paying attention. This often leads to mistakes, like late payments or overdrafts, all leading to stress you don't need. So how does this happen? Well, usually it's not one big decision. It's a series of everyday choices that over time just snowball into something more complex. So you leave a job and then the 401k just stays there. Then you leave another job, and now you have 2 or 3 more retirement accounts scattered around. Then there's a bank that offers a high-yield CD, but only if you open a checking or savings account with a minimum balance. Then there's a credit card company that promises a cashback bonus or airline miles, and you think, well, why not? Individually, none of these decisions are wrong, but add them together, and then suddenly what looks organized on paper becomes more confusing in real life. You're going to spend more time managing your accounts than planning for your financial future. Well, there is good news. It doesn't have to be this way. You can simplify. So first, maybe consider having fewer accounts. Take a close look at all of your accounts. And if it's helpful for you, write them all out on paper to visualize everything. What do you see? Do you have old retirement accounts? Maybe consider rolling them into a single IRA or Roth IRA if the plan allows you to. Now, I've seen this several times when meeting with clients. They've worked for a few different companies throughout their career, and maybe their spouse also has had a few different jobs. So they have these retirement accounts spread out in all these different places, and they're just having a hard time keeping it all figured out, knowing where their retirement money is and how much they have overall. And it gets confusing. So in working with these clients, I've helped them to consolidate their retirement funds into one place so it's easier to see and manage. Now, what about those multiple bank accounts? Do you have them spread out at different financial institutions? If you don't use them or keep a balance in them, they're probably not even worth keeping. And how about those credit cards? Think about going down to one credit card or just using your debit card instead. The overall goal is to create a system that's going to work for you, one where you can manage without feeling overwhelmed. Now, second, have a monthly budget meeting. Look at what money came in, what went out, and what expenses are coming up. Make a simple plan for the month. And if you're married, it's important to also talk this over with your spouse so that you're both on the same page. You don't need complex spreadsheets or endless apps, just a plan to know where your money is going. Now, third, just because it's a special offer doesn't mean you have to take it. Those high-yield CDs another bank is offering may look great, but do you really want to open another checking or savings account to get it? Pause and ask yourself, is this really worth it? Remember, every new account adds another login, another password, and another thing to keep track of. And lastly, create a financial profile. This is going to be your bird's eye view of your finances. Take a page to list your bank account balances, your debts, retirement accounts, and other assets like real estate, cars, boats, and RVs. Having a simple overview of your finances lets you make decisions, track progress, and then notice opportunities or problems before they become too stressful. And just remember, more accounts don't make you better with money. Keep it simple. When things are simple, it's easier to stay engaged, make better decisions, and enjoy the process of managing money instead of dreading it. And this is where a financial advisor can be a game changer. A good advisor looks at your entire financial picture, helps you consolidate accounts, guides you on which investment accounts make sense, and helps you build a simple yet manageable system. We have a team of advisors at Centennial Wealth who are here to offer guidance and help you keep your finances as stress-free as possible. Give us a call for a free no-cost consultation and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more financial education topics.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From investments and insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
Hey, welcome to this quick segment on Harry Markowitz. Who was he? What did he do? And what do we learn from his work? Well, he basically figured out the mathematical process that there is a combination of risk that you can allocate different assets to optimize the return, okay? Or another way to say, if you're shooting for a particular set of returns, then there's a way that you can optimize the asset allocation in order to minimize the risk. And if you plotted that at all the different points of your risk spectrum, you would get what's called the efficient frontier. And so he laid the groundwork for modern portfolio theory. Now, what caught me about his work is the geek side of it, just loving all the numbers and the math behind it. But then when I started digging into how he actually allocated his own money, then I got to see a little difference, right? There was a little bit more behavioral finance in it, and he basically said, well, I get that I've proven mathematically how you should optimize your portfolio, but my own money, I'm gonna put 50% in bonds and 50% in stocks. Basically, he was trying to minimize his future regret. The future regret of if he was 100% in stocks and lost a whole bunch of money, or if he was 0% in stocks and the market, went up a lot. And so what we get to do here at Centennial is we get to actually find and balance that behavioral coaching with the expertise of the markets, the efficient frontiers, because we first figure out what is your required rate of return. Here's what you need to make your plan and retirement work. Let's just go backwards and then figure out using all assets options to figure out what a perfect portfolio for you might look like.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
Every business says they're better,
but the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
At Centennial Wealth Advisory, we take a holistic approach to your retirement planning. So it's not just looking at what your investments are, but what is that long-term income plan for the next 30, 40 years of your retirement? What about taxes and what role they play in your retirement plan? Estate planning, what about life insurance, health insurance planning, all key areas to consider when looking at your retirement. So please visit our website or call the number on the screen. We'd love the opportunity to sit down with you for a no-cost, no-obligation visit.
Social Security, it's always a hot topic, and probably one of the biggest or most common questions that we get asked is, when should I start Social Security? And I wish I had the perfect answer for you. I wish I could say, yep, this is the time you should start it, but I can't. Everybody's situation is so unique. So today what I want to talk about is if you start Social Security at age 62, what you need to look out for. Okay, so Social Security starting at 62, that's the earliest that you can actually start it. Okay. Full retirement age is usually somewhere between age 66 to 67, and that's when you're going to get the full benefit amount. But if you start it early, like age 62, it's actually going to be reduced, and it'll be reduced for the rest of your life. And so starting it at age 62 reduces that benefit by about 30%. So that is one of the main things that you need to think about when deciding if you really want to start your Social Security benefit at age 62. And really what it boils down to is having an income plan. So if you don't have an income plan yet, that's something where here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, it's not just, investment planning or talking about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. There's so much more to it than just that. And that includes income planning as well. Another thing to look at when starting Social Security at age 62 is, are you still going to be working? Okay, because if you are, there's earned income limits that you need to pay attention to. I know a lot of people, when they retire, first off, they don't necessarily want to do nothing. They want to have a part-time job and so forth. And so if you do elect to start Social Security at age 62, you're subject to those earned income limits. And if you show too much income, you actually have to pay back a portion of your Social Security benefit. And nobody wants to do that. Okay. Also, you got to look at it from a tax perspective as well. Does it make sense to start Social Security now, or should you pull money from the portfolio first and so forth? So there's a lot of different variables to it. Another variable is, well, how long do you think you're going to live, right? Of course, nobody knows, but if you have good genetics and you think you're going to live a long life, maybe it doesn't make much sense to start it right away. But again, it all boils down to that income plan. Do you have one? And if you don't, please give us a call.